Hey guys, welcome to my video. This is gonna be a review on the new Queen and Slim movie, so please stick around, like and subscribe, and yeah. So Queen and Slim is a movie about two fugitives on the run after an incident with the police, and I'll get into that a bit later. But the movie begins with the scene with Queen and Slim at a diner having dinner at their first date, and this scene is really an eye-opener to the audience because we learn more about each characteristics of the individual. So basically, Quinn, we learned that she's an attorney, a criminal attorney, and that in this scene you can tell that she's very intelligent, she's very confident, she makes direct eye contact, compared to Slim, who doesn't make direct eye contact. He seems to be lacking confidence. He seems to be kind of intimidated by her success and to be a little bit shy and kind of withdrawn, but he does also seem to be intrigued and smitten by her. And this characteristics within Quinn and Slim are very important because they kept reoccurring in the movie, and I'll go further into that a bit later. So I'm not going to do an in-depth analysis of every scene, but I'm going to pick out the most important scenes. So the next most important scene in this movie is this scene where Queen and Slim get approached by the police officer while they were driving. Slim drives recklessly, and this catches the eye of a police officer that was around there, and things escalate. As you can see from this scene, if you've watched the movie, that Slim didn't really get a chance. I mean, he did the right thing. He showed his ID. He was really polite, but he didn't. This still enabled the police officer to be like trigger happy and to just want to cause things to escalate between him and the two individuals, which was pretty sad. So it leads to a struggle, a fight between Slim and the police officer, and Queen gets out of the car and tells the police officer to calm down. The police officer gets frustrated and ends up shooting Queen on her thigh. And Slim manages to steal the gun away from the police officer, and he shoots him. Yeah, he shoots him in the chest, and he dies. So this scene was a lot. This is actually the second scene in the movie, and it's kind of weird that they didn't have a build up to this scene, like especially how dramatic the scene is. It's because one way you can look at it is Hollywood trying to monetize off of Black deaths and police brutality, because it's like they were very excited to make this scene. There was nothing, the only thing before this scene was the scene of them actually meeting for the first time and going on a date. So this is really weird because usually in even when in the movie The Hate You Give, which is about police brutality, there is a build up. You see the relationship with the guy that I've got his name, but with the guy that was killed. You see the relationship with his friends and his life, and him at a party enjoying. I believe they were in the last year of high school or in college. No, I believe he was in college and she was in her last year of high school. But yeah, in the Hate You Give, you kind of see a build up leading up to that, which makes the audience, empathize with the victim. But in this scene, it was weird how there was no like real build up. And he shoots Queen on the leg. I don't know. It was really weird. And then after that, like basically they drive away. Um, I know this scene is really weird just because of how Queen gets shot in the leg and then the police officer just dies, but I don't know, it was a lot. I don't know what to make of this scene, but yeah, let's go on. Moving on, I'm just gonna talk about the scenes, the next most important scenes really quickly. I'm gonna try and cut them short. Yeah. So basically, the next most important scenes are two scenes. The first one are pretty much before the climax of the video. I'm gonna tell you guys not the climax of the video, but the climax of the movie, because every storyline, like every book, has a climax. before things just start going down. But these are not the climax. This is just a build up so that the audience can actually start to build and empathize, build a relationship with the characters, which is Queen and Slim, and start to empathize with them. So the scenes that have that are basically the scenes where they run into the car breaks down in the middle of the night just from after they drove away and killed the police officer. They ran into this older white man. He offers them help. He offers to pay them gas so they can drive away. They find out that this man's actually a sheriff. The sheriff finds out that they're wanted for murder of a police officer. They have a chance to kill him, but they don't. He begs for his life, but they decide not to kill him. However, Quinn, what's important to realize is that Queen was actually initiating or insinuating that they should kill him. And at first, I thought they were kind of showing her to be very hostile and unremorseful, like the first scene, where she was like standoffish and stuff, and now they were trying to show her unremorseful. But she did talk about how she just failed a case as a criminal lawyer, and one of her clients is actually getting executed for a crime that he did not commit, and she knows that they're caught on camera, and when they do get caught, like physically caught and apprehended by the police officers, their fate is likely death. Especially being black, killing a police officer at that. Yeah, the fate is likely death and nothing less. I mean, people, especially black people, go to jail for doing less. Like just having weed, it might get like 25 to 45 years in jail. So, yeah, so I think that scene was important. And also the scene where Slim accidentally runs over an older black man, which happens to be the father of the black boy. And the black boy is actually the climax of the movie, which I will talk about and definitely go into that. But he happens to accidentally run him over and hurt his knee, and this was also, again, this is just if the audience can build a relationship with the characters and have empathy for them and actually see them as two humans and stuff, and I'm not just runaway fugitives, but because they were trying to make it. I know that movie is about like, that like this could really happen. This could really happen, but this movie is half like, you know, making the audience see humanity in black people, but it's also half romanticizing police brutality. I just don't have like, I know I see where they want to go with things, but I also see where they're being a little bit shady. Um, so it just depends on the motives of the director and of the writers of this movie, because it's like they'll throw in a very shady scene, a very shady like a very shady conversation, and then the next thing they're gonna try make the audience empathize with Queen and Sling, and make them seem like the best human beings possible. And this back and forth thing is why I have like an issue with this movie. But yeah, these are the two most important scenes I believe that are part of the build up to the climax. So the audience can, start empathizing and building a relationship with these two. Yeah. The climax of the movie is pretty much the sex scene, and the protests and the protest scene. And for this reason, I don't know why. I just really don't know why. We see the little black boy, um, that they took to the hospital with the dad, gets shot. And it's correlated with the sex scene, and I don't know why, but you guys can tell me why this is a climax. But we do know this is a climax because everything else goes downhill from here. The police on their ass and stuff, and then they get shot. Trying to escape to Cuba because they get shot up. I mean, they get set up by a black man. Yeah. It's just very confusing. I was very, very confused and stuff. But if you guys know, I know I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I would like to hear more ideas as to why they made the climax of the movie the sex scene and correlated it with the death of the little black child. Yeah. Yeah. So this is my review for the movie, guys. I hope you guys liked it. There's other important points that I got out from the movie. I tried to talk about everything that I could remember. Guys, this is the guy that sold them out for $250,000, and does happen. I mean, the system has broken so many of us down that like we are so quickly to sell each other and not see the value in life in one another, especially as minorities. Simply because we find value in more materialistic things that give status, such as money or like gold or jewelry and stuff, or assets and stuff. I mean, so it just this scene just showed how this man, they were on the run for so long. They escaped so many, close times, and he just sold them out for money and stuff. But yeah, this is my review for the movie. This movie is very confusing, but it's also really sad at the end. I recommend that you watch it and stuff, and yeah, just come up with your own ideas on what you think about the movie, and because there is a meaning, it just depends on who the messenger is, because there is a message. It can be good and bad. There are a lot of good and bad messages in his movies, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed the movie. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will make a review of something soon. Thank you.